Hi guys, my name's Leslie and I am a nursing student. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I used to study for MedSurg and Pharmacology. I took them at the same time and I'm in an accelerated program, so I kind of just wanted to show you guys what I used to study, how I stayed organized, and kind of show you guys some of my notes and study materials. So before I get started with all this information I'm about to bombard you with, a little bit of background about me. I'm 23. I am in an accelerated nursing program. I'm at West Coast University. I actually am a second degree student. Well, I'm a third degree student. I got my bachelor's in biology and psychology from the University of Missouri. I was pre-med, and then when I started kind of working in the healthcare field, I decided on nursing. So now I'm back in Dallas, and I'm going through nursing school. We have 10-week terms, and we have about 11 terms of our core nursing classes. So right now I'm in term, what am I in? I'm in term 5 of 11. So I'm almost halfway done. So I'm really excited, but I just kind of have been getting a lot of questions through my Instagram about how I did so well in Pharm and MedSurg together, and I wanted to show you guys how I studied, what I used to study, and how I was able to be successful. So I guess I will start with MedSurg. So this was my binder for MedSurg. I had all of my tabs laid out and organized into the weeks. I only went up to week 8 because week 9 is when we do our final testing and everything. I don't know what book that you guys use, but I don't actually have the book with me because my friend's using it for this term, but this is the study guide and it has the same cover of the textbook that we used. So for my MedSurg class specifically, my teacher advised us to do concept maps or go through the nursing process for each disease that we learned. So I used my iPad and Apple Pencil and I downloaded the concept map template and I made concept maps of each disease that we went over, and I will show you guys kind of a closer look of those.
So this is what one of my concept maps looked like. So I did this one on Crohn's, and each concept map has the patho, the medications that we used for it, possible nursing diagnosis, patient teaching, clinical manifestations, interventions, and everything like that. So I made sure to do one of these for every disease process that we learned about, and that was super helpful because since I am a visual learner, I'm able to remember where I wrote everything on the concept map, and it was really helpful when I went back and studied for the final to just go back and look at these concept maps instead of going through all of my notes.
Okay, so something that was really helpful for me, I learn best when I rewrite my notes, which is very time consuming, and I'm just waiting to figure out another way that works for me when I'm studying. But for right now, this is what I do. I used my textbook, I used my ATI book, and I used the PowerPoint notes. So I would make kind of an outline skeleton using the PowerPoint notes and the lecture notes that I took, and then I would go and based off that information, I would go through my textbook and my ATI book and kind of add more information from both of those books. So I would have just like a comprehensive set of notes for that chapter. So I'll show you guys kind of what that looks like. So our first chapter we did the perioperative, and I divided my notes into the nursing process. So I used ADPI. I did assessment, diagnosis, planning, intervention, and evaluation for each chapter, each disease process that we went through. So I'll show you guys what that looks like.
At the top you can see where I had my PowerPoint notes in black, my key point notes, which was a handout that she gave us, in blue, my ATI book notes in red, and then my book notes, my textbook notes in pink. So like I said, I went through the AdPi, so I started with assessment, PowerPoint notes in black, key point notes in blue, and then red was from the ATI and pink was from my textbook. So I did that for every part of the nursing process, specifically for chapter 17, which I think was pre-op. Yeah, it was preoperative. And then chapter 18 was intraoperative, and I did the same thing. And then we did post-op after. But what I loved about this was that I had all the information that I needed, but at the same time, I could tell specifically where that information came from if I ever wanted to go back and get more information on a
I'm pretty sure that MedSurg was the first class in my college career, personally, that I actually read the textbook. So I would have my textbook out in class and I would highlight the points that she was talking about. So when I got home, I could go back and look at those sections specifically and read more in detail. I actually ended up at least skimming through all of the chapters that we went through last term. And I think it was really helpful because there were a lot of questions that I wouldn't have fully understood unless I went through the book. Okay, so pharmacology, this was actually one of my favorite classes because I loved how straightforward it was. And I feel that pharmacology was more straightforward than MedSurg, absolutely, even with the occasional exceptions. But so my pharmacology binder was set up the same way as my MedSurg binder. So it's my pharmacology binder, and I once again have my tabs for each week. I actually printed out my professor's PowerPoints for this class because he even told us that he would test straight from his PowerPoints. We could use, this was the pharmacology book that we used, and he said that we could use it for supplementation, but he really wasn't going to focus on those. I printed my PowerPoint notes before I went to class, and anytime he said something that wasn't on the PowerPoint slide, I would write that down. I would highlight extra things that he emphasized, and then if he mentioned charts or page numbers in the book, I wrote those page numbers down so I could go back and look at them. Pharmacology, I think, was a lot of memorization, which I didn't think I was going to be too good at, but what helped me was we actually did, kind of like I showed you guys for MedSurg, the concept maps, but these are drug concept maps that have the mechanism of action, therapeutic uses, side effects, food and drug interactions, and administration considerations. So this is mine for morphine, and I'll give you guys a better look at it later. I think it's probably kind of hard to see, but I did these concept maps, and then he also gave us, this is like messy, but he gave us a prototype list, and with the prototype list, I would go through, he actually has them categorized for us, which was really, really helpful. But I would write the page numbers that they were on if I needed more information. And then I would print this off and I would write everything I knew about each drug on the prototype list, maybe a day before the test. And then I would use that to go back and compare to my PowerPoint notes and see what I was missing. So that way I could tell if I was recalling the important information that I needed to and what I was missing. And then I would do it again one more time before the test on a blank sheet of paper. And I did pretty well. But something else that my friends and I put together were just another way to lay out your prototypes with the drug class and characteristics. And it was in Microsoft Word, and I'll show you guys a better picture of that in a minute. But it was just easier because we all learned different ways to have a bunch of different study material to look at. So this is the drug, I guess chart, I would call it, that helped me study. It had the drug type or the drug class, the prototype, and then the characteristics. And it was just another way to look at the information, and everything that was highlighted in red were things that my instructor had highlighted in red on his PowerPoint slides.
So these we did for every week. And this was specifically the information that he had on his PowerPoint with just a couple things added from the ATI book. But I will definitely save these and use them when studying for my pharmacology proctor that is in a couple of terms. Okay, and this is super messy, but this is an example of the concept map for drugs that I used, which I guess I can upload and send you guys the link if you wanted to look at it. But it has the mechanism of action, therapeutic uses, side effects, nursing interventions, patient teaching, and all of that. This was super helpful because I would go through and gather all of the information from my PowerPoints and my ATI book, and I would be able to write it down since I learned best by rewriting everything, and then highlight things that were super important or things that stuck out specifically to me. Some drugs had more information than others, but in the end, I think it all was super helpful just because I had a visual of where I wrote everything and I could kind of remember what was highlighted after I rewrote it and highlighted it myself.
So I think that this term was really difficult for me personally because taking both of these classes together, you definitely have to be great at managing your time. So speaking of time management, if you don't have a planner, I have no idea how you're surviving without one. But if you don't have a planner, you should definitely get one, right? So I actually have the Erin Condren Life Planner, and you can customize the cover, which is my favorite. So that's what my cover looks like. And then I put my name on it because why not? I'm extra. And then the back cover is me and my best friend. She's in med school. She's super smart and totally my inspiration. But anyway, so this planner, it has the yearly view, which I literally have not used yet. I guess I could mark holidays or birthdays, but whatever. But so let's see, let's show you guys. I liked the monthly outlook because I would put all of my classes. I have my tutoring on there. I have my work schedule on there. So it kind of, when people would suggest dates to pick up shifts or dates to do tutoring or dates to tutor them, I could open this page and kind of see what I had going on. And so I now have the horizontal one. And then I'll put like my class times on there, things that are due that day. I have my work schedule in here too. And then I also have my quizzes, and I also have, well, not on this page because it's the weekend. I actually take the weekends off, meaning I like don't go to the school to study, but I'll like sit at a Starbucks for like 12 hours, but I take the weekends off in that I don't go to school and study, and I don't work on weekends. I just work Monday through Friday throughout the week after school. And then Saturday and Sunday are like catching up on sleep and studying. But I'll actually have things that I need to pre-read, the ATI assignments that I have to turn in, and kind of like my plan for studying. So like for pharmacology, if I have 25 drugs that week, I'll divide it into the number of days I have to study for the test. And since we have a test every week, I would do like maybe 10 drugs on Monday, 10 drugs on Tuesday, the last 5 on Wednesday, and then review. So I had that laid out. And then I would put like my rent, my credit card payments, and that's about it. But I love this planner, and I think I will put the link to the discount in the description of this video if you guys want one. Okay, so I'm gonna finish all of this off because I'm sure I've been talking for way too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful in some way. I've done all of my pre-nursing classes through my previous biology degree, but if you guys have any questions with anatomy, physiology, biology, chemistry, let me know. If you have any more questions about MedSurg or Pharm that I didn't answer, let me know. And then I've also done fundamentals in my nursing course, so let me know if you guys have any questions about that either. Right now I am in mental health and physical assessment, and then I'll be going on to MedSurg 2 and nutrition. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.